How's it going, everybody? It's your boy Pixelated Pat back with another episode of our Pokemon Gaia Nuzlocke. Today we'll be covering our trek through Frostbite Cave on our way to Windmist City, the location of the third Pokemon gym, and as you can see, the level cap has been updated to level 28, so I felt it appropriate to grind up my Pokemon just a little bit more after the last episode, so that way I won't have to as much when I reach the next town and complete all the events over there. Anyways, I've got quite an action-packed episode in store for you guys today with a lot of development, so hold on to your seats because this ride is gonna get bumpy. And as you can see, I'm keeping Shuppy in the rotation for right now. I got super lucky that she didn't get KO'd in the last episode, and I'm glad to see that she's still around to take on the rest of the game with us. And I'm sure you've also noticed that I evolved Pinky the Whisperer into a Loudred during grinding, another development I was pretty excited about because it never hurts to have a strong normal type to deal neutral damage to all of your opponents. And I feel like its power will serve us well for this section of the game, so I was definitely excited and looking forward to seeing it get some usage in this cave. In general, I was pretty excited going into this cave because I knew there was going to be a lot of goodies in here that we can get a lot of use out of, and there's nothing that feels better in a Nuzlocke than just getting really good items. Whether it's the nuggets, whose sales price can help bolster our medical supplies even further, a good TM, or just generally good items, there's a lot to be excited about in this cave, and the fact that it ends with another encounter with the evil team of this game is the icing on the cake, pun fully intended. But something that was definitely not icing on the cake was our encounter for this cave. If you saw the short that I shared earlier, then you'll know that our encounter for this cave was Woobat. I don't want to complain because I really do think Woobat is going to be a great addition to the team, especially after I take the time to level him up to where the rest of the team is, but I was really hoping for a Pokemon that we haven't already seen in the game. In particular, I was hoping for a Spheal due to how in love with it I was with the idea of raising a Walrein, but you gotta work with what you get in a Nuzlocke, and I'm excited to see what Woobat will be able to bring to the table as the run deepens. And that's another thing that I've really come to love about my Nuzlocke journeys, is getting to learn what different Pokemon are capable of bringing to the table as you get deeper into the run. You never know when a chance encounter can completely change the identity of your team and change the direction of your team's strategy, or when a Pokemon that you continue to raise and kept alive will wind up learning a really good move down the road that complements your team's overall synergy. Getting to learn the different ways that different Pokemon can work together has got to be one of the most rewarding parts of Nuzlocking for me because it really gives each of your final teams its own experience and identity. For example, the identity for my final team for my Emerald Randomizer Nuzlocke is an expression of where I was at that time because it was when I first started to come into my own as a Nuzlocker. Or in my final team for my Leaf Green Randomizer Nuzlocke, which expressed my growth in strategy and strength. Or most recently, my final team for the Fire Gold Nuzlocke, which expressed the willingness to never give up and hang on till you can't. I still think about that final battle with Red a lot and what it meant for me as a Nuzlocker, and I'm thinking later on the line I may make a video focused on that topic. For the time being, I'll be focused on the run, but don't be surprised if later down the road I make a video detailing my Nuzlocke lore. That sounds like it'd be a fun video to make for sure. Especially because it would give me a chance to really look back at where I used to be when I started Nuzlocking and all the great things that have come with it ever since I began sharing my journeys over on Instagram. I've certainly come a long way and made a lot of great memories over there and would love to recount those memories in a video later on down the road. It would also give me a chance to share a little bit more about myself with my audience. After all, my first video here was a re-upload from Instagram, and since then I've just been focused on the run. All good things come with time though, and I can't wait to share a proper introduction video. For now, I'm fine with just focusing on the run and getting through this Nuzlocke. And here we have yet another story beat involving the evil team of the game, and it appears as if one of the admins is present in the cave. I'm glad that I took the time to raise up my Pokemon a little bit more because this cave is not short on good Pokemon battles, which is yet another reason I was excited to engage with this section of the game. After all, it's just like the title of my channel says, I'm addicted to Pokemon battles and you can never have too many. Anyways, moving right along, we got a cool detail of the game right here. I found out through some research of the game that this spot functions the same way as the Ice Rock does from Route 217 in Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum, the location just south of Snow Point City, meaning that you can evolve Eevee into Glaceon here. It's just too bad that I wasn't able to encounter an Eevee, but having an evolution would have been great for the team. Although I probably would have gone with Umbreon, it would have been cool playing with the idea of having a Glaceon as well. Although I'd probably give some heavy consideration to Sylveon and Espeon as well, seeing as how good Psychic and Fairy types are in this game. Anyways, speaking of evolutions, we're actually about to have one on the screen with Shuppy the Shuppet evolving into Banette. Ghost type Pokemon have always been a lot of fun to work with in Nuzlocke, and I can't wait to see how I'm able to utilize Banette in the future. And so everybody, welcome Banette to the team. One thing's for sure, I'm super pumped to see what will become of Banette as we get deeper into the run. She's already proven in the last video that she's a fighter when she survived on 1 HP, and I've seen huge potential in her ever since she joined the team. I feel like her surviving that battle was a sign from Lord Helix that she's destined for greater things in this run, and I'm super pumped to witness her legend unfold. After all, I've been obsessed with ghost types and Nuzlocke ever since I encountered Dusclops 2 runs in a row with both Emerald and Leaf Green, and it really goes to show that a ghost type can be a game changer depending on how you utilize it. So I'm definitely excited to see what becomes of Banette. Anyways, another feature of this game I'm sure you noticed is how it uses the repel system from Black and White. It definitely makes long journeys like this so much easier since I don't have to speed through or cut out encounters to shorten the video as much as I can, and I can't thank the developers enough for adding that amazing quality of life feature. Anyways, we actually have a pretty interesting and close call here with Pinky the Loudred where one of my worst fears nearly comes true. Cry Out is a locking move a lot like Rollout where the Pokemon is locked into the move, although it doesn't come with the additional bonus of its power being stacked. Anyways, one of my worst fears with locking moves is my Pokemon being locked in against an opponent where it's not dealing any damage, because that is ideal conditions to experience a KO. Luckily we came out clean, but you never know when a lockout move could put you in a tight spot like that, so it's probably recommended not to use them. But hey, like I said, in Nuzlocke you gotta use everything at your disposal, and I was just using what I felt was best at that moment. And another thing I do that sometimes puts me in tight spots is I try to rotate my Pokemon throughout the video to give each of them a chance to level up, so that way I'm not relying too much on any one Pokemon. And I really like the challenge that it presents sometimes because it forces me to figure out a way out of situations that might be difficult, which further increases my experience in situational awareness. After all, Pokemon is a game of situations, and if there's anything I've learned from years of watching Brady win through his experience of situational football, it's that any shred of experience can contribute to a win. Experience is preparation, and preparation is everything. And I'm really glad that I got to express that because I feel like it answers a lot of questions that I've had before in the past on my runs on Instagram, such as why did I do this, why did I have that Pokemon out, and so forth. I like rotating my Pokemon because not only does it give them some much needed experience as well as giving them a moment to shine, but also gives me the opportunity to experiment with different situations. After all, you never know when an experience or situation from a certain point in any run will show up again, so it's good to have that experience. Anyways, another detail of this game that I can't help but to shout the developers out for is changing the color of the TM's item icon on the overworld map, because it gives the player the incentive to make the journey to go over and get them, because you never know what you're gonna get. It's always an exciting feeling getting a new TM no matter how many times you played Pokemon. And I'll really never forget how OP it was finding Bubble Beam and Mega Punch TMs in red and blue. Those were the days. Speaking of, I'm really showing my age there because that is like age-old nostalgia right there. Anyways, now that we're approaching the end of the cave, we have a pretty important story beat coming up here where we see that they mentioned they've captured Regice, and I'm pretty excited by that because that means that the evil team isn't going to be any pushovers, more admins we get to battle. We're about to battle one right here, but first we got to get through her grunt real quick, so let's go ahead and do that. Not gonna lie though, I kind of feel bad for this grunt right here because you already know he's gonna get his ass chewed out by his boss after this battle just for losing. So let's give him some F's in the chat because he's probably gonna be looking for a new one. Although I guess he can always use me as a reference because I do gotta give credit where credit's due. He did manage to get a decent amount of damage on Riz the Azumarill before going into this next battle, and the reason why that's important is because we actually don't get a chance to heal. The dialogue forces us right into the next battle before we get a chance to heal, so that creates an extra layer of challenge with one of my best Pokemon being at half health. So let's go ahead and take on Elder Knight Eunice. So right away I send in Magna for her first appearance all episode to take on the Snover. It's the perfect option obviously since Snover is a grass and ice type, so I'm able to take it down in one hit, but that forces her into Noctowl, so obviously I'm going to switch right there because I don't want to get hit with a Confusion or a flying type attack. The last thing I want is my starter taking any unnecessary damage. Anyways, Elisa's taking a decent bit of damage, and that's pretty unfortunate for the rest of the battle. I won't be able to use her because she has Flame Charger, which would have helped a lot against this Armora. And I didn't switch in Magna right here because I knew that Armora had the rock type and I was scared of something like Ancient Power. So my strategy here was very simple, yet probably not the most effective. I decided to just use Stomp over and over again because I knew that Flinch Hacks could help out a long way if I could get it consecutively or consistently, which I actually do manage to. So shout out to Pinky for getting through this battle, but unfortunately that does put it in one hit range for Frostus right here. I don't want to send any of my Pokemon into Frostus, so unfortunately I have to sacrifice Pinky right here. RIP to Pinky. And that's how you know I've been Nuzlocking for too long already, because just making a complete meme out of the first death of the Nuzlocke. Anyways, RIP to Loudred. I didn't want it to be the first death of the Nuzlocke because it was named after my good friend Pinky Poke over on Instagram. But sometimes things just happen in battle that we can't really control, and it did contribute greatly to the win that we ended up getting. So thank you to Pinky for your efforts. Anyways, you're going to see me switch my lead one last time because we actually have one last NPC battle right here. We're going to switch over to Magna because this trainer right here wants to battle real quick to warm up, and that is why we send out Magna, because she is the perfect Pokemon for that. Anyway, shout out to everybody that made it to the end of the video. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed the video and subscribe if you haven't yet. I really appreciate the support that you guys have been showing me, and I can't wait to bring you guys more. I will see you guys in the next one, and thank you all again. Love you guys.